This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
As you know, every year the Kansas Fairgrounds Foundation, we induct someone into the Wall of Honor. Somebody that's been in the agriculture industry, primarily the cattle industry, but has also touched the Kansas State Fair or been involved. And every year that becomes a little difficult. You find someone that's really, really good in agriculture but has nothing to do with the Kansas State Fair, or you have someone that's really involved in the State Fair and hasn't done a lot in the ag industry. This year's inductee, Dr. David Nichols, everyone's unanimous pick for what he has accomplished and the honors that he's received, the accolades that he's given. He's still one of the most humble people that I know, and to me that says an incredible amount about the character of Dr. Dave Nichols.
I'm one of the luckiest people in the world, and I know that. My career didn't end up the way I thought it was going to be. I have an older brother, and he decided he was going to come back to family farm, and my plan was to raise hogs and corn and live in Indiana. Well, that didn't turn out because he came back, and at that point I came to Kansas State. I came to Kansas State in January 1977, and nothing could have been any better than that.
When you say Dave Nichols, well, first of all, he's the same vintage as I am, because we started graduate school at Kansas State University about the same time, different parts of the country where we came from. So our journey has encompassed not only the two of us, but our children and now our grandchildren. And so this guy who came out here has invested his life in Kansas agriculture. And when you think of the scope of Kansas agriculture and its impact, the fact that we were able to keep that guy named Dr. Dave Nichols here, and that our families were able to enjoy the fruits of his job and his labors. And when I say job, very rarely do you find somebody that the job matches the passion.
First time I ever really met Dave, we had taken some cattle in for a judging contest, and Dr. Nichols was heading to his first show to judge, county fair, first one he'd ever judged. I've never seen anybody so nervous about judging the county fair in my life. That got us both off on the right foot, and we've been great friends ever since.
I think about the very first show I judged a spring beef show in Minneapolis, Kansas that ran on the football field, is where they showed the cattle. And that was the very first one, and I was just so nervous about going and what it was going to be like. Well, from then you just judge a little more in a few more counties and a few more fairs. And I've judged in 85 of the 105 Kansas counties, their county fairs. But then state fairs and national fairs, had the opportunity to judge cattle in Brazil and Costa Rica and Canada.
When you think about Dave Nichols and you think about agriculture and you think about Kansas State University and the beef industry, he's the face of it for all of us. The thing about Dave is he cares. And when you think about the face of Kansas State animal science and really for the Kansas beef industry, some of the most exciting and best moments for most of the youth of Kansas, certainly in the beef industry, has been Dave.
So what do you say about Dr. Dave Nichols? He is an unbelievable person that is talented, so full of energy, but so giving. When I think of his knowledge base of what he understands here in the beef industry and what he understands of Kansas and beef production in general, it's unbelievable.
I think when you look at all the events that Dave's been a presence, from the state fair to the Kansas Junior Livestock, and even as the state fair built those new facilities, just making sure that the funds were raised to be able to build these and to just ensure Kansas had some of the very best facilities.
His interest in livestock, his knowledge of livestock, you know, when you can get somebody like that that's on the staff that has the job that he does, oftentimes maybe those don't go hand in hand. You've got a great person, but to have the ability of those two complements to marry into a job like that, and how he's touched kids and educated folks that have gone out into the industry and done amazing things. You've got to have that foundation and those roots, and somebody that has that belief in them to coach them along the way and to encourage them.
You know, oftentimes we see lots of people in the limelight, and we see people that have rose to this level or that. And Dave certainly has done that, but Dave's a servant.
When I think of Dave Nichols, I think of someone that truly has the passion for helping and serving others. And that's the reason why it's awesome to see him and his family get this award, and we just couldn't be more proud.
He's touched so many lives and so many people, and has moved an industry at Kansas State University from where it was and taken it to the next level. That, in my mind, is the definition of success. It's what you leave behind and how you will be remembered. And there's nobody that walks this earth that has not been touched by Dr. Dave Nichols that says they're not better for it and would define him as a success.
When all the legends of K-State are added up 100 years from now, the ones from the past and the future ones, you still will be the #1 guy, and not just in the animal science department, the entire university. I do not know of anyone that has more caring and passion for their students than what you do. Not many people know that, but I know you worry and fret to make sure students get things done and make it work. And for the whole K-State family, the state of Kansas, and everybody all over the world that knows you, again, congratulations. You're #1 in most people's books.
Well, this honor means the world to me, and I'm so humbled by it. I really don't feel like I deserve it. And certainly when I think about the people on that wall, it's just amazing to be put in that same category. I think of the McCurrys, my friend Miles McKee, mentor, Don Good, and so many others. It's truly an honor. I wasn't born a Kansan, but the people of Kansas have meant the world to me. And this state is my home, and I just can't thank the people of Kansas enough for giving me a great life.